I'm bringing you guys another Chelsea talking point video. I'm going to be talking about whether it's time for Antonio Conte to go. Anyway, getting straight into the video, of course, after that awful, embarrassing performance yesterday, and I'm sorry you guys, is it the first time we've seen performances like this under Conte? Now I remember I got a lot of hate during the start of the season after we did beat Spurs 2-1 in the league, because I was of the belief that I didn't care about the injuries we had. They weren't as terrible that we had to play such negative football. And I felt that we only won the game due to luck because of Marcos Alonso having great form in that early period. But other than that, we didn't create anything against Tottenham in the game. We defended deep, we parked the bus, lost easy possession of the ball. And it gets me thinking this. Let's say if we drew the game yesterday against Man City. Let's say we won it in extremely lucky scenarios where let's say we score from a penalty and steal the game out. Would people really be this angry with the result? But I'm thinking, why wouldn't you be angry? I mean, surely there should be a standard of performance, a bare minimum. Us fans that invest our time watching football, pay a lot of money to watch Chelsea as well, dedicate our time. Surely there should be a minimum standard of performance that we should be expecting to be had. And honestly, under Antonio Conte, I don't think he's a guy that's really going to bring anything like that. Now, Conte's excuses as to why we had to play like this against Man City was due to the fact that, well, again, it seemed like he was comparing us to Arsenal. He said, when Arsenal played open football, they lost 3-4-0. Man City are an unbelievable team. We can't afford to leave those spaces open, otherwise we'd lose 3 or 4-0. But, God, I mean, there's so many things wrong with what the hell he's talking about. First of all, our squad is much better compared to Arsenal's. I mean, other than Aubameyang, maybe a Lacazette, Ozil, who would really get into this Chelsea first 11? Not one of them. We've got a much better defence than them. We've got the best defence in the league. We've got Conte. We've got a better midfield than Arsenal. Arsenal don't have a midfield anymore. Plus, we've got better attacking options. Plus, we've got more squad depth. I mean, you looked at Arsenal's bench over the past couple of games. Eleni and a few youth players playing. I mean, there's not much depth at all. So to even bring up those comparisons, I think, is a deflection. And Antonio Conte is the king of deflections. For example, throughout this press conference, I wasn't feeling too confident. And here's why. Well, let's remember the Barcelona game, the pre-match conference before that. I was feeling confident because Conte was giving us a source of confidence to feel. He was saying the fact that I feel Barcelona have weaknesses that we can exploit. And we never ever hear Conte talking like this in a press conference. So for him to say that means a lot. But then bring it back to the City games, and all he was talking about was obviously how Pep has a lucky situation where the club support what he does. He has money, he's backed, blah, 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 blah. Again, deflecting, obviously putting pressure on the club because, again, guys like Antonio Conte are very self-serving. And what do I mean by that? Even his football personifies that, really. Again, the reason why he was happy with us not really doing anything in the game and keeping the scoreline to something respectable like 1-0 is the fact that, well, that's not going to damage his CV. Imagine if we did try to, play and actually gave it a go. Let's say we lost 2-0, 3-0 under unlucky circumstances. Honestly, a loss is a loss. We still dropped 3 points. Honestly, to me, I'd rather we lost 3-0 putting in effort and giving it a go compared to losing 1-0, not doing anything throughout the game, wasting everyone's time. And that's really embarrassing everyone because, again, for the squad that we have and the players that we have, that's not going to help their confidence. And that leads on to what Eden Hazard was saying after the game. Now, Eden Hazard, again, you guys saw my previous video, and if you guys haven't, I suggest you watch it because I go through numerous examples of times Chelsea players have been critical of Conte's approach in a very, PR sensitive manner, which they would do. They're not going to outright state it. But Hazard was basically saying afterwards, well, he didn't feel like he played any football against Man City because he barely touched the ball. First of all, again, to me, it comes across as him questioning the manager's decisions, which I think is natural, and that's what anyone will do in their job, because he was of the belief that, well, I was only getting long balls, and I was up against Otamendi and Laporte who were good at dealing with them. And he said in a very diplomatic way, well, if a Giroud or Morata was playing, then maybe it could have been easier for me like it was during those final few minutes. And I just didn't understand why Conte didn't use them when he again, he's been stressing upon the fact that he wants a target man striker, and obviously Morata's fully fit now. And this is what I mean. He's a self-serving guy and I know it's because of N'Golo Kante. That's the reason why he's a false nine system right at the end, because he panics. He was thinking, without Kante there, I need to make sure that I have guys who are going to track back and run, because I know that Giroud won't press high. I know that Morata's not very good at doing that. I can't afford to let City have any chances against us. So again, sacrifice the game. And it's too often now where he's been sacrificing performances, especially against the big teams. I'm talking about games like Liverpool, where we could have attacked them all away when they had an awful shambolic defence and no midfield. We didn't do anything against Arsenal. To think, this poor Arsenal team unbeaten against us, it's shambolic. And it's his negative approach where he's very self-serving, underestimating the squad every single time, because he wasn't happy he couldn't get a few players he wanted. I'm sorry, the only players really that I'll criticise the club for not getting was Lukaku and Tolisso. They were the two main targets for Conte, as well as Sandro. But with Sandro, there's a lot into that. I've explained it so many times. Now with Lukaku and Tolisso, I'm going to be going more in depth later on during this week. I'm going to be providing some context to the whole scenario. You guys will be seeing things from a different perspective, because again, like I've been mentioning, Conte is the king of deflections. He's very good at, obviously, being self-serving towards himself. And again, there's a few things that he's got a lot of people forgetting during the start of January. But you know, nothing gets past me, because again, I'm a very objective person. But bringing things back to the bare minimum standard of performance we should be expecting as fans, especially when we've got a lot of great players in this squad. This approach from Conte, this negative approach, how many times have we seen it throughout his tenure? And it really hasn't benefited the club whatsoever. And I made this point as to why this type of football doesn't work. I mean, look at the personnel. When you've got the likes of your Hazards and Williams and Fabregas, we didn't have players like that 8 years ago. It's no surprise that when it comes to defending and trying to seal out games, we can't do it. We can't do both. We need to embrace the style of player we have to get the best out of them. And that's something that Conte doesn't want to do, because, again, it's weird, but I just think that, and it's just been the criticism of Conte throughout his career, he's just not brave. He doesn't go for it. He's just scared. And I'm sick and tired of that. And that's obviously transmitting through a lot of the players in the team. As I said, Fabregas has criticised us maybe not attacking enough. Hazard's constantly been saying things about us not attacking enough as well. And I think after yesterday, after his reaction to, literally he just stormed off the pitch when Conte subbed him off. And again, Conte's lack of game management. I kind of feel like I've made this a lexicon, because anytime I'm on Twitter or social media, I keep seeing a lot of people referencing game management, which I wasn't seeing at all, you know. But with Hazard just storming straight off, not even looking at Conte, I think that kind of summed up everything about their relationship. And there's actually a guy that provided more context towards how the club are feeling right now, how the squad are feeling right now, and that was Marcos Alonso. Now, to me, I think it's very stupid. That's like an Arsenal-like thing where you leak stuff, not even leaking things to the press, but I mean just saying stupid things you shouldn't be saying. And what are these stupid things that Marcos Alonso was bringing up? Well, Marcos Alonso was bringing up the fact that, of course, Conte is under pressure, and saying that there could be an attitude problem within the squads. And he broke it down even further. He said that some players are happy with him, and if I was to guess, that would be players like your Kantes, Azpilicuetas and Marcos Alonso himself. He said that some players are thinking about the next manager already. And for me, that's players like your Luiz's and your Eden Hazards. Alonso went on even more, saying that if the club did get behind Conte, he said naturally, some players will fight for him and some players won't. Now, the cynical part of me thinks that it's natural that Alonso is going to be very supportive about Conte, because again, Conte's kind of giving this guy a career. If any other managers came where they expected different attributes from their wing backs, Marcos Alonso's position will be under threat, because again, he doesn't do enough in the final third, and defensively he's not amazing at all. The reason why he's got a career, and I've been saying this all the time, is because Conte tells Alonso to get inside the box when it comes to attacking. So it's no surprise that he's left unmarked and he's able to take shots on goal, but that doesn't mean he's a great player. That means that the manager's giving him that freedom to advance into the box. So nothing's fooling me when it comes to that. But it's natural that these cycles constantly happen at Chelsea because we keep going for managers like your Contes and Mourinho's, self-serving guys that don't care about improving players or benefiting the team. It's all about playing football to not lose because they want to improve their CV and win trophies for themselves. They don't care how ugly it is, and a lot of times they embrace that ugly side, that obviously the sacrifices, all these PR terms that Conte's been throwing out to get people to believe in his vision. There is no vision. You can tell a lot of the players are becoming dissuaded by that. I mean, Hazard. When have you ever seen this guy ever coming out really criticising anyone? Yeah, under Mourinho, a few times he was doing that. And it's no surprise now that under Conte this season, he's been a lot more vocal. We've been hearing him talk about his ambitions for his future. We've been hearing him talking about how he likes to be played, how he doesn't like to be used, etc, etc, etc. Maybe he's using the PR for his own game to slowly put pressure on Conte. But I mean, I think Conte's tenor really sums up that last, taking off Hazard in the 89th minute when we're trying to win the game now. There was no tactical benefit to that. I don't understand what Conte was thinking. When he was questioned about this in the press conference, he said that, well, he wanted to see if Hazard could provide any moments of magic in the last few minutes. But I mean, I'm sorry, why would he take him off at all to bring on Emerson? Emerson didn't even get a touch of the ball at all. Honestly, with Conte, it's not looking good. I think, again, as I've said already, you guys, the guy didn't sign an extension for a reason. He doesn't want to stay at the club. He was forced to stay because when he did want to move, there's a clause in his contract saying that he'd get a massive financial penalty if he did move. He wanted his way out. He was forced to stay. The club, again, popular to contrary belief, they want him to stay. They offered him a new contract extension, which he rejected, so he accepted getting more money. Again, I told you guys around December time as well that he was approached again about signing a contract, and he rejected that as well. Conte is going to be leaving at the end of the season, and in my opinion, I think is good riddance. He's not going to help us go to another level. He's not going to help improve these players. He's going to cost us this negative brand of football that doesn't benefit anyone. I mean, for example, he hasn't changed anything tactically to help us get better or to help us cope against opposition. I've said this point over and over again. Once your Bournemouths and your Watfords feel more comfortable pressing high in numbers to beat us, that sums it all. Because clubs like that, again, what did Conte say about wanting to play an open game and pressing high? It comes with a risk because then you can be exploited on the counter-attack. So when you're seeing teams in the bottom half of the table focusing on pressing us high with numbers, that sums up everything that's wrong with the system. Conte hasn't changed things at all. And again, everything's self-serving. He's been questioning the squad every single time whenever we play important games. I've had enough. I think a lot of the players have had enough now. And you know what? Big changes need to be made during the summer. But anyway, you guys, that's my thoughts and opinions on everything surrounding Antonio Conte. I'm telling you guys, I want Conte out. I don't think he's the right man for the job. And I'm happy that more people are starting to be a bit more woke now when it comes to this. But anyway, you guys, thank you for watching this video. I'm the NEFC. This is Blue Lines TV. Signing out.